The radar screen flickered ominously in the dimly lit control room. Captain Alex Monroe's sharp blue eyes fixated on a small, almost imperceptible blip approaching the edge of restricted airspace. It was 0400 hours, and the base was eerily silent, save for the hum of machinery and the occasional murmur of the crew. "What's that?" Alex muttered, leaning closer to the monitor. "Unidentified aircraft, sir," replied Sergeant Claire Novak, her fingers gliding over the keyboard. "Altitude, 30,000 feet. Speed, 750 knots. Hostile?" Alex asked, his voice taut with suspicion. "Could be. It's moving too fast for commercial," Claire replied, her tone steady despite the undercurrent of unease. "Alert the squadron." "I'm going up," Alex ordered, his heart pounding as adrenaline coursed through his veins. Minutes later, the hangar roared to life as mechanics scrambled to prepare the jets. Alex suited up, his F-16 Falcon gleaming under the fluorescent lights like a predator ready to pounce. As he climbed into the cockpit, the weight of the moment pressed down on him. This was no routine drill. "Falcon 1, ready for takeoff." Alex's voice crackled over the comms as he taxied onto the runway. "Copy that, Falcon 1. Proceed with caution," came the reply from the tower. As the jet roared into the night sky, Alex's mind raced. Who or what was out there? At 35,000 feet, the blip was no longer a distant mystery. Alex's radar now displayed it with chilling clarity, an aircraft, sleek and menacing, its design unfamiliar, and its transponder silent. "Unidentified aircraft. This is Falcon 1. You are in restricted airspace. Identify yourself immediately," Alex demanded over the open channel. No response. The silence was deafening, amplifying Alex's growing unease. The enemy aircraft suddenly veered, closing the distance between them with alarming speed. "Tower, the bogey is engaging." "Repeat, the bogey is engaging," Alex shouted. "Falcon 1, you are weapons-free," came the reply. Alex didn't hesitate. His fingers danced over the controls, locking onto the target. But before he could fire, the enemy jet executed a maneuver so impossible, so unnatural, that Alex froze for a split second. The aircraft flipped midair, evading his missile lock with precision that defied human skill. "What the?" Alex whispered, sweat trickling down his temple. It wasn't just a pilot he was up against. This was something else entirely. Back at the base, Claire monitored the situation, her brow furrowed with worry. "Sir, this isn't just a rogue pilot. The way that jet moves, it's like it's alive." Colonel Reed, a grizzled veteran with decades of experience, leaned over her shoulder. "We've seen advanced tech before, Novak. Don't jump to conclusions." But Claire wasn't convinced. The data streaming in from Alex's jet told a different story. The enemy aircraft was faster, more agile, and equipped with weapon systems that weren't supposed to exist. In the skies, Alex was locked in a deadly dance. Every time he thought he had the enemy in his sights, it slipped away, countering his moves with almost preternatural precision. "Tower, I need backup," Alex yelled. "Falcon 2 and 3 are en route," the tower confirmed. Minutes later, 2 more F-16s joined the fray, their presence bolstering Alex's resolve. The 3 jets formed a triangle, attempting to box in the enemy. But the mysterious aircraft was one step ahead. It darted through their formation like a hawk among pigeons, its movements erratic yet calculated. "This thing's playing with us," Falcon 2's pilot exclaimed. Claire's fingers flew over her keyboard as she analyzed the incoming data. Then, her eyes widened in shock. "Colonel, you need to see this," she said, her voice trembling. Reed leaned closer, his expression darkening as he read the screen. The enemy jet's signature wasn't just advanced, it was alien. "That's classified tech," Reed muttered. "No human pilot could pull off maneuvers like that." Claire hesitated before replying. "Sir, I don't think it is human." In the skies, Alex was beginning to realize the same thing. The enemy jet's movements were too precise, too mechanical. And its lack of communication? Eerie. Suddenly, the enemy aircraft fired. Alex barely evaded the missile, his jet shaking violently as he pulled a sharp turn. But Falcon 2 wasn't so lucky. Mayday! Mayday! I'm hit! Falcon 2's pilot screamed as his jet spiraled out of control. Eject, Falcon 2. Eject! Alex shouted, his voice cracking. A fiery explosion lit up the night sky as Falcon 2 went down. Tower, we've lost Falcon 2. This thing isn't just advanced, it's lethal, Alex reported, his tone grim. Reed slammed his fist on the desk. Send out the Hawks. The base's backup fleet, the Hawk drones, were highly advanced but untested in combat. They were the military's last line of defense, controlled remotely and equipped with cutting-edge AI. Claire hesitated. Sir, if these drones fail, we'll have nothing left to stop it. Reed's jaw tightened. Do it. Minutes later, the drones took off, their engines humming with deadly intent. In the skies, Alex and Falcon 3 regrouped, their resolve steeled by the arrival of reinforcements. The Hawk drones swarmed the enemy, their AI algorithms predicting its movements with uncanny accuracy. For the first time, the mysterious aircraft faltered. It was outnumbered and outmaneuvered. Now's our chance, Alex shouted, locking onto the target. But just as he fired, the enemy jet released a blinding burst of light, scrambling the radar and disorienting the pilots. When the light faded, the aircraft was gone. Back at the base, chaos erupted. The enemy jet had disappeared from the radar, but Claire knew it wasn't over. It's not retreating. It's regrouping, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex's comms crackled. Tower, this is Falcon 1. Permission to pursue. Negative, Falcon 1. Return to base, Reed ordered, but Alex ignored the command. He couldn't let this thing escape. Flying low and fast, he scanned the horizon, his eyes darting between the radar and the night sky. Then he saw it, a glimmer of silver against the dark clouds. Got you, he muttered, pushing his jet to its limits. The enemy jet turned, as if acknowledging his presence. It didn't flee this time. Instead, it charged, its weapon systems lighting up. What followed was a battle unlike any Alex had ever experienced. Missiles streaked through the air, explosions painting the sky in fiery bursts. The two aircraft danced a deadly waltz, each trying to outwit the other. In a final, desperate move, Alex lured the enemy jet into a narrow canyon. With no room to maneuver, the aircraft's agility became its weakness. Let's end this, Alex growled, firing his last missile. The explosion was deafening, the shockwave rattling Alex's jet as the enemy aircraft disintegrated in a ball of fire. As Alex landed back at the base, he was met with cheers and applause. But he felt no triumph. What was that thing? He asked Claire as he climbed out of the cockpit. We're still analyzing the data, she replied, her expression grave. But one thing's certain. It wasn't from here. Reed approached, his face a mask of seriousness. You did good out there, Captain. But this isn't over. Whatever sent that jet, it'll be back. Alex nodded, his jaw set. He didn't need to be told twice. The skies were no longer safe, and the fight was far from finished. As he walked away, the sunrise painted the horizon in shades of red and gold. But for Alex, it wasn't a new dawn.